Beyond the Paddle, powered by Best 4 nutritional supplements.
Welcome to the wonderful world of paddling. There's something pretty special about getting ready to push out for a paddle. There's a sense of oneness with the water, which is serenity and tranquility. But given the waterways we have at our disposal, the ocean, the dams, the canals, and of course the many rivers that we paddle, there's this potential for such raw excitement and adrenaline, and that is a heady mix. That is the paddler's world, and that is where we take you in Best 4 Beyond the Paddle. This is the magazine show where we'll tell you where to paddle, we'll tell you what to paddle, we'll talk about the men and women, the guys and girls who are paddling. We'll bring you all the expert opinion about the equipment you need and how to make you a better paddler. It's all designed to make your paddling experience an even better one. That's why we say it's Best 4 Beyond the Paddle. This is the boat we'll be reviewing a little bit later. Let's check out what else is in store in this edition of Best 4 Beyond the Paddle. All the action from the unlimited non-stop doozy. Then we get under the skin of doozy champ Andy Birkett. We try out the new epic V8 surf ski. Spend some time with some serious extreme kayakers. We take on board some nutritional essentials. And then we go beyond the backline with the latest surf ski news. Just 2 weeks into the new year, the summer racing season moved up a gear with the Best 4 Healthcare Rietvlei Rumble at Rietvlei Dam between Pretoria and Jozi. Suddenly, the richest prize purse on the Gauteng racing calendar, it was also a plum doozy seeding race and an opportunity for the upcountry paddlers to prove themselves. New World Marathon champ Hank McGregor, part of the star-studded field with his doozy partner Len Jenkins. The course was a multiple lap setup on Rietvlei, guaranteed to deliver tight bunch racing, where the talent of tomorrow could mix it up with the country's top K2 crews. Well, for as long as they could stay with them, that is.
Part of our ammunition in combating non-communicable diseases is physical exercise. We are worried all over the world about people who don't do any exercise. They get exposed to higher blood pressure, diabetes, cardiac diseases, chronic lung diseases, cancer, all sorts of illnesses.
The 30-kilometer race started with 3 fast laps before the first of 2 tough, long portages. This one, a 6.3-kilometer monster, longer than any portage on the doozy, and sure to shatter the front bunch. The women's race, Robin Kaib and Abby Ulansky, just in from Canada, up against the potent 80 twins. Meanwhile, back up front on the run, it's Jenkins and McGregor and Mbanjwa and Zondi. Gone van der Walt doing the help here. But with 2 class acts gearing up for the doozy, they drove a wedge between themselves and the rest of the field. Meanwhile, a super solid lead come halfway for Robin Kaim and Abby Ulansky over the always game competitors Abby and Alex Ady. Alex bravely fighting on despite feeling pretty unwell on the day. The first lap portage included an out and back turn point, so the field got to exchange pleasantries with the crews heading back down to the dam. But at the put-in, it's McGregor and Jenkins who get the jump on Mbanjwa and Zondi. Meanwhile, it's been blitz running by Kaim and Ulansky. They've extended their lead over the 80 twins. Back on the water for 2 laps of flatwater racing totaling 6.5 Ks, cat and mouse, but all done at breakneck speed between these 2 quality crews. Meanwhile, the ladies, it's all Abby Ulansky and Robin Kaim.
Yes, excellent. Weather conditions perfect, and some serious racing up front, especially with Michael Mbanjwa's crew and Hank McGregor and Len Jenkins. Really good racing. quite happy with the turnout. I think it's been although a relatively small field, a high quality field took part today.
Back up front in the women's race are Robin Keim and Abby Ulansky powering away to set water between themselves and the AD twins. Look at these girls though, this is perseverance personified. Taking the pull, never giving up. Back up front, the second steep, long portage, Thulani Mbanjwa and Sibonelo Zondi make their move and they hit the front, getting a significant gap on Len Jenkins and Hank McGregor, who are now lagging back in second. Just flat water racing from here on, so it is race on. The women's race, and it's been a juggernaut showing from Robin Keim and Abby Ulansky. Abby, a new mum, and that makes her performance even more spectacular. Ominous signs for the doozy for Abby and Alex Adi. Back up front, Mbanjwa and Zondi going for the kill now as they're in the final lap. They've done the hard yards to get away from Jenkins and McGregor at just the right time. Tactically brilliant and pulled off with guts. In third place, brothers Richard and Nhlanhla Qele excelling and in line for a decent slice of the prize money. Robin Keim and Kwanda Mhlope styling as well. In the end, Thulani Mbanjwa and Sibonelo Zondi coast home to win, a victory of huge psychological importance less than 4 weeks from the doozy, pulling one over Hank McGregor and Len Jenkins in second, while the rest of the field enjoys the closing stages of a classic new race.
Yeah, it was definitely harder. We tried to run a little bit harder on the first portage, but definitely Hank and Len, they're going well. They just hang behind us the whole way to the put in, and yes, we thought, yes, these guys, we're never going to drop them. And then going to the second portage, we knew we'll try and just make a break on the hill. If we don't shake them, then we was going to come down in the end sprint because we're not going to let them go. And we just managed to get a gap on the uphill, and we just hold them off. When we put in, we just put the hammer down into the finish, but it was tiring. It was a hard race, definitely.
Super competitive racing from the top 10. And here come the women's champs, Robin Keim and Abby Ulansky, well clear.
Yeah, it was good. Great training session, really, really well organised. I think having Best 4 as the sponsor definitely makes a big difference. Boat felt lovely and yeah, we had a really good workout.
Prize time, and the honours going to Robin Keim and Abby Ulansky, and the overall winners, Thulani Mbanjwa and Sibonelo Zondi. And the numbers that matter, a key mental minute win with changer lifers in the next 7 boats across the line. This year's The Unlimited Doozy was a triumph in the career of Andy Birkett. The Team Best 4 Kayak Centre and Team Jeep athletes struck gold in the doozy for the 3rd year running, and that has now started chins wagging about just how much of a legend in the making Andy Birkett is.
You know, when we entered the race, we actually weren't sure of our performance, where our strengths and our weaknesses would lie in the race. So we had to try and make plans that would suit either option. I mean, if our running was a bit stronger, we had to try and push it harder in the runs. If our paddling was stronger, we had to try and focus more on the paddling. Luckily in doozy, we managed to be pretty strong in both. In the beginning of our training, which was 3 months before doozy, and we did practice a few takeouts and put-ins, and they were remarkably slower than our put-ins and takeouts were in the doozy. So we started off there and we knew we had to do a lot of work because it's so important in the doozy. And it's a group effort, it's a team thing where we try and assess and dissect a takeout and a put-in and see where we can make up time. So we'll go and have a takeout, we'll go and practice it, and after we've done that, we will go and try and assess where we were slow, where we were fast, to try and build on it, and to do small things differently to try and make it faster. So it's really the small things that count, and you try and focus on them. Our main strength was getting back in the boat after a long portage, where we could get in and paddle away from a lot of the other combinations were stronger paddlers than us. But it was that transition, getting back in. That's the strength that we found out in the race. The Surge Farm portage is the first portage, and in previous jerseys I've seen other guys who go and run that really hard and they blow themselves. Although it's a short portage, it's so early on, your legs are cold, you've got to pace yourselves. If you run at the front of the boat, you've got a different role to running at the back of the boat. Jason was running in sync, and it just feels much better when he does run in sync. So he has to consciously the whole time try and keep in sync with me in the running. It just makes the boat a lot smoother when you're portaging. When Jason and I raced our 2010 Jersey, we said to ourselves we're going to walk about 30 meters near the top. When we entered this year's Jersey, we said before the race we can't walk at all because we knew the strength of the other competitors. And when you get to Cabbage Tree, you can't slacken off at all. You're going to have to go 100% the whole way, try and run the whole way up the hill. Because it's so close to the end, it's a lot easier to make up 30 seconds a minute near the end of the race than it is at the start. So it's really crucial at the end of day one of Jersey to make up the last few places in a few seconds. If you run too hard at the bottom of Burma, by the time you get to the top, you're going to be battling. So it's a case of pacing yourself from the bottom to the top. I'd say in a K2 and K1 is probably the same sort of times. If you can do it in 27, 28, that's a good Burma. But saying that, 3 years ago, anything under 30 was amazing. So the times are getting faster and faster. The first 3 crews in this year's Jersey were all as fit and as strong as each other. But it's a matter of preparation before the race. And it's something where you don't have to be any stronger at. It's just a case of planning your race and practicing the course. And you can make up a serious amount of time, just having confidence in where you're going and having a plan to follow. I pride myself in having one of the best boats in the start line, and before the race, when my boat gets made, I give a list on all my demands and requirements, which is always a big joke at Kayak Centre. I think boat preparation is really important in the Jersey. You rely on your craft a lot more than some of the other races because your boat really takes a pounding in the Jersey. And knowing your boat very well and having it set up correctly can make a big difference in the Jersey. When people start comparing me with Grandpa Ellis because he's won 15 Jerseys, I've won 3, that's quite a lot more than me. And there are a lot of people that fit in between, someone like Grandpa Ellis and myself, that people are just forgetting about. And 3 Jerseys, I could never win another Jersey again in my life. So once I've won a few more, then we'll have to see. But at the moment, it's just 3.
The distinctive Birkett celebration was something that Jason Graham just had to buy into.